Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I happened to be scrolling through Twitter and saw this tweet here from the Real Plan C weekly candle if we can close out this week at our current position or higher. So he's pointing out this tweet here from Matthew Hyland. Bitcoin is actually closing higher and significantly higher on the weekly. Now, if you just scroll up here, I just happened to see another tweet from Plan C. In the last 54 days, Bitcoin is quietly up 26%. So I'm going to take a look at the Bitcoin chart here, guys, on the weekly. You can see that weekly candlestick looking quite impressive. We haven't really seen any kind of great movement for Bitcoin on the weekly since about the end of January. So this is what we're seeing now. And again, the week is not over yet. It is Saturday, March the 19th. So we still have one day to go. However, we have been seeing bullish momentum to the upside, which has been positive. We've seen it reflected in the rest of the crypto market. Here it is on the hourly. So Bitcoin on the hourly, you guys can see overnight last night, we did see a huge pump up for Bitcoin and then just kind of petering out a little bit, forming what is looking like a bullish pennant on the hourly. And even now you can see over here, Bitcoin still looking to perhaps add some gains to its current price. And I didn't even think of that second comment. In the last 54 days, Bitcoin is quietly up 26%. We haven't really been taking a look at what Bitcoin has been doing on the longer time frame. We've just kind of been focusing on this consolidation period where we've been seeing Bitcoin just trading up and down and up and down, just kind of in this range right over here. And we haven't really been noticing that it actually has been quietly going up. I mean, we really still aren't out of the woods, not nearly by any means. We still have to really kind of break some significant levels here for Bitcoin. We're still sitting at the 0.236. For those of you guys who think we are in a bear market and this is the end for Bitcoin, I'm supposing you're waiting for Bitcoin to reach the 0.702 and see where it goes beyond that. My guess, it is going to go higher. We're still trading on very, very low volume. And XRP, guys, XRP did see a bit of a pump as well, up to about 82 cents right now, 0.817. So XRP obviously moving with the trend, moving upward, coming out of that bullish pennant pattern, and now moving to the upside. So some positive news for the crypto market by and large. You can see the market cap here, nearly $1.9 trillion. Bitcoin dominance, though, still holding at 42%. So, I mean, Bitcoin and altcoins ultimately moving in tandem. You can see we are having a fairly green day for the majority of cryptocurrencies. So that's all fine and good. But again, all eyes on Bitcoin to see where the king crypto goes next, and this will dictate where the rest of the market goes. Positive day for crypto, but here's what's happening with the XRP Ripple lawsuit. So Jeremy Hogan just posting on this. The court allowed each expert witness to submit a report and then a rebuttal report only. So the SEC does a second rebuttal report and calls it a supplemental report. And so Ripple is now moving to strike it. He's retweeting out James K. Filan's tweet here with regards to the latest news on the Ripple SEC case. The SEC has filed its response to Ripple's motion to strike the Mets supplemental expert report. And Jeremy Hogan is essentially stating, this is turning into a bit of a tit for tat. He says, no, seriously, that's basically what's going on here. No, really. XRP Crypto Wolf, WTF is the SEC trying to do with all this back and forth with Ripple besides delay the lawsuit? They must be packing their XRP bags. Jeremy Hogan also mentioning, did you see the footnote? Footnote number 1. The SEC game plan is to appeal any adverse decision to Judge Torres. Delay. And Stéphane Hubert also picked up on that. Here is what the footnote says. In any event, litigating this issue before this court will not conserve resources if the losing side appeals to Judge Torres. Stéphane Hubert chiming in, so now we are already at the threats stage. Hey, Judge, it doesn't matter what you judge. We will never accept anything if you don't judge the exact way we want it. Is it even possible to be more disrespectful to a judge? How long is NetBurn going to put up with this? So we can clearly see here, I think it's very apparent, the SEC, not even hiding it anymore, they are playing scrappy now, to the point where they are just flat out saying it now. They are mentioning it here in their footnotes that they will essentially appeal any decision the judge decides to make. So they've played their cards, and I guess we will see how the judge does rule. Ultimately, too, let's be mindful, even if the SEC does appeal the judge, let's say in this example they do rule in favor of Ripple, we would definitely see a bump up in XRP price, even just based on that initial ruling. So, even if the SEC does appeal, I do still think we will see people FOMOing in to the XRP token, even if it is not 100% over, but that could still be a ways away. Let me continue, guys. Wrath of Kahneman here posting this Mercy Corp report. So this has to do with a pilot insights on stablecoins, micropayments for digital workers, funded in part by Ripple. So if you take a look at this report, you can see down here, Ripple Works, and CeeLo have provided funding for this pilot. So interesting choice for Ripple to decide to fund a pilot on CBDCs. I mean, I guess it makes sense considering they have worked with countries like Bhutan to help their CBDC project. Back in 2021, Bhutan advances financial inclusion and sustainability with Ripple's CBDC solution. So as per this tweet here, and just to kind of give you guys a sense of what this report is about, work with other governments to establish cryptocurrency regulation and promote the urgency of doing so. By nature of cryptocurrency being a global currency, cryptocurrency regulations will require global cooperation. Kenya's policy development will require Pan-African and international collaboration to be truly effective. Key stakeholders are government regulators and secondary stakeholders. Get this, guys, regional and global intergovernmental forums such as the WEF, the AU, and the UN. But note here, the WEF is listed in this report. So that's interesting. Of course, the World Economic Forum does have a vested interest in a global CBDC rollout, especially among Western countries. But in this case, they're talking about Africa. Also notice here, CeeLo is one of the funders here. And if you guys remember, back to that June 2021 World Economic Forum report, CeeLo was one of the 6 cryptocurrencies that the World Economic Forum highlighted in that report. One of the 6 that they see as being influential in the coming years. So you can see down here, CeeLo is also a partner, and Ripple Works and CeeLo did provide the funding for this. Interesting news. Wanted to thank the Wrath of Kahneman for posting that. And to get more utility on the XRPL, Ripple has committed 1 billion, yes, billion with a B, so 1% of the entire supply of XRP to advance XRP ledger development. This just came out a couple of days ago. This is an extension of the XRPL grants program. So the grants program is something separate, and they are just extending this with a 1 billion XRP donation. So that rolled out in 2021 and was awarded $6 million to open source projects built on the ledger. So not only is Ripple donating hard cash, they are also donating XRP. This comes as developers using the XRPL look to build and scale apps on the ledger, mostly because of speed, scalability, and carbon neutrality. And that's another theme I think we should be paying close attention to, something that the World Economic Forum discusses specifically, but also, for these cryptocurrency projects to thrive, for them to have a future, carbon neutrality is going to be a big point. We heard about it in the executive order that Joe Biden just signed a week ago. Ripple plans to provide support and introduce developer programs, and over the next 10 to 20 years, the XRP donated will be dispersed to developers who are looking to build and scale their apps. The fund's programs are specifically tailored to training and mentoring projects developed by the XRPL community, including an accelerator program to give support for businesses, DeFi support, diversity and inclusion funds, and partnerships and sustainability programs. So 1 billion XRP, again, 1% of the entire supply, guys. Remember, there's only 100 billion XRP that exists, and I know to some that might sound like a large amount, but, Ripple taking 1% of the total supply and essentially donating it, allowing more developers to be able to build on the XRPL. This will help drive more utility to the XRP cryptocurrency, and, eventually more utility means more companies will be utilizing the XRPL, which will in turn organically pump the price higher. With more demand, there's going to be more need. And so people, whoever they are, whether they come in the form of financial institutions or governments or whomever, are going to need more XRP and will pay higher prices for that XRP. So interesting news there from DJ Peter Vass. Crypto Eddie also bringing this to our attention with regards to Ripple partner Bank of America. A little clip here from a presentation with regards to decentralized finance and the fact that this is booming. Take a listen to what the presenter has to say. Again, guys, from the Bank of America.
This has nothing to do with a bubble. This has nothing to do with excess liquidity. This has to do with the fact that there are applications that people can use that instead of making a settlement in 2 days or 5 days, if I'm sending $300 to India, it happens real time while I'm still on the phone with my family. And instead of costing me $10, it's free. That's the reason why these applications are taking off.
So you heard it here from a Bank of America representative. That is why these applications are taking off. We're removing those long settlement times, 2 to 5 days, and sending, in this example, $300 to India. It happens in real time. And instead of costing me $10, it's essentially free. Okay, costing fractions of pennies to send these transactions over RippleNet on the XRPL. And again, this is coming from a RippleNet partner, Bank of America. Wanted to thank Crypto Eddie here just for reminding us that, banks, they're realizing that this is the future, and even if we are not seeing it scale in the United States today, this is the ultimate goal. This is where we're getting at, guys. It's just a matter of time before we get there, and it is just a matter of time before we really see those enormous flows of XRP coursing through the XRPL. So, wanted to thank Crypto Eddie for posting that. XRP Crypto Wolf also mentioning that Ripple is hiring a director for carbon markets. Now, just here, I mentioned how carbon neutrality, where was it? Was it this one? Yeah, it was carbon neutrality is one of the key factors that this pilot on stablecoins is looking at here in Kenya. No, sorry, it was this one here. Ripple commits 1 billion XRP to advance XRPL ledger development. And here they talked about carbon neutrality. So, a lot of carbon neutrality, that is a central theme, of course. And considering the XRP cryptocurrency is and has been environmentally friendly from the beginning, it was created with that in mind. It is no surprise that they are also hiring a director for carbon markets to expand their businesses. So here's just another quick piece of news. Vice President of Global Talent Acquisition at Ripple, Jim Shaughnessy-Kelly, has taken to Twitter to share a link to the Ripple vacancy as the company seeks to expand its business in carbon markets and is pulling focus on climate protection. So again, no surprise there, considering the WEF, the World Economic Forum's initiative, does really focus on climate change and this carbon neutrality aspect of it all as well. Ripple helps global efforts to address climate change. So as the world is undergoing a transfer to low carbon economy and intends to remove a massive amount of carbon from the atmosphere by 2050, 50 billion, Ripple is taking a stronger commitment to help deal with climate change. Now the company is in search of a director for carbon markets. So specifically looking for somebody whose job will be dedicated specifically to carbon markets. The hired successful candidate will be cooperating with various departments and teams at Ripple, including Ripple X, Ripple Impact, etc., according to the job description. So although we have a cryptocurrency that is environmentally friendly, clearly they need to keep working on this, and clearly they need to have somebody who is dedicated, whose job is specifically dedicated to help foster, I suppose, carbon markets and to be able to liaise with certain companies with regards to their climate protection initiative. Anyway, the XRPL already a very environmentally friendly solution. And so, I'm kind of scratching my head. I don't really know why they would need somebody to address the carbon neutrality of it, considering we are already there, unless they maybe want to improve it. Or help facilitate more of it. I don't know, or maybe be the representative from Ripple to go out and say, maybe educate other businesses. I guess that could be why as well. If you guys have an idea, put it down in the comments section. We'd love to hear what you guys think, but wanted to thank XRP Crypto Wolf for posting that. And from Stuart Alderati, in-house counsel at Ripple, less than a quarter into 2022, he says, and this is from his mouth, "There is no doubt in my mind, this is going to be the year where all eyes will be on crypto regulation." So he is stating, guys, 2022 going to be the year. Of course, the Ripple XRP lawsuit is going to play a big part in this. He says, "I penned an op-ed for RC Markets on what the crypto industry needs from U.S. policymakers in order to foster American innovation." And so here is the article, guys. I'm not going to read the full thing, but I do want to read a little bit from this. So we kind of understand where we are with crypto regulation. This is where we are with crypto today. We have passed the inflection point, which I think is very important to note. There was this uphill battle, I think, up until about 2018, 2019, and then there was a bit of confusion and, lawmakers kind of didn't really know what to make of it. Then the beer flu hit, and I think that was the time where payment providers, companies really started to adopt RippleNet, where it was already regulatory compliant. We had a new need for it because people were working from home. Not too many people were actually physically going out. And so we saw the need for cross-border payments. We saw it more and more throughout the pandemic. And so I think that was the inflection point he's talking about. People have different views on it, but no one can deny the public interest in and growing usage of these new technologies. But with 2022 being touted as the year of crypto regulations, the industry's future and America's role in it are on the line. Will Congress and regulators collaborate with this industry on a rational regulatory framework that protects consumers and markets? Or will the industry continue to be forced to grapple with regulatory ambiguity and inconsistent enforcement? So this is what Stuart Alderoty is asking. Down here, he just goes into the history and he kind of goes into where we've been with regards to cryptocurrency regulatory clarity, which has not been necessarily, I guess it's a bumpy road to say the least. I'm just going to skip down here, but I will link this in the description. Developing a regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies and digital assets will not be a simple exercise, but threatening innovators with suits at every turn will have tragic consequences for the benefits and economic growth that digital assets and blockchains have potential to unlock. Fortunately, there are existing legislative proposals for members on both sides of the political aisle to modernize facets of current financial services oversight structure to create framework tailored for crypto. He says, I deeply believe in this approach, and that is the reason Ripple laid out a framework designed to offer an immediate and pragmatic way forward, which accounts for the dynamism of digital assets. I hope policymakers reassess their approach to regulating crypto before the damage is past a point of no return. So that's the other thing. We don't want to be left behind, and this is why all eyes are on 2022. We're almost there. We've got to get it right. Ripple, he continues, and the rest of the industry will continue innovating. Congress and regulators must work together to provide regulatory clarity for the crypto industry. Otherwise, 2023 could mark the first year of a country other than the United States leading the digital asset revolution. A very, very strong last sentence there in this article, and I urge you guys to read this if you have some time. I will link it in the description. So Stuart Alderoty obviously realizing this is really important. And it is this year, guys. It is happening in 2022. So how should we feel about this? And has this been, kind of brewing in the background this whole time without us even knowing? Now, I don't know how long you guys have been in the XRP community. Me, myself, I've been here since 2017. And Ian Binns, he's definitely been here since 2017 or before. He posted this, he sent me this in a DM. Who remembers the Ripple Riddler? And this initial riddle from back in October of 2019. Flying through the sky. Now, this is a 3.5 minute Riddler video. This guy came about after Bearable Guy, and I know Sam I Am was one of the ones who did a great job of decoding the Riddler stuff at that time. I wanted to pause the video here and take a screen grab of this, because this is exactly what Ian Binns focused my attention on. And the reason he did, I don't know if you guys remember earlier in the video, I mentioned this article with Bhutan and how they're advancing financial inclusion and sustainability with Ripple's CBDC solution. Again, this was from September 2021. And take a look at that picture, guys. Doesn't that look eerily similar to what we saw back here from 2019? Now, I don't know if the Ripple Riddler had this in mind. Again, this was 2 years later. But we know CBDCs have been on the radar of central banks. They just had not publicized them, I guess, as much as they are this year and even last year. But it's interesting to note the landscape. Very, very similar. I think at that time we were thinking it was Liechtenstein or Liechtenstein. Fast forward 2 years, we had this article coming from the Ripple Insights blog with regards to Bhutan and Ripple's CBDC solution. A very, very similar image here that I wanted to bring up, thanks courtesy of Ian Binns here on Twitter. And again, an old riddle, okay? Again, back from 2019, and I don't think anybody caught this. The other thing I wanted to mention was this from Fojack here, Mr. Pool profile has also been updated. Now, take a look at this. Twitter only, as he mentions here, and it looks like some Russian characters, something written in Russian here. If you go down, you can see Fojack here has translated that to loop and to pool. So in Russian, Mr. Loop, Mr. Pool, changing his Twitter profile. But wait, there's more. Fojack here retweeting out Howard Moon's tweet from the 12th of this month. Are we supposed to be focusing on Kyrgyzstan? Is that how you pronounce this? Kyrgyzstan, officially the Kyrgyz Republic, is a mountainous, landlocked country in Central Asia. Kyrgyzstan is bordered by Kazakhstan to the north, Uzbekistan to the west, Tajikistan to the south, and China to the east. So geographically positioned in very close proximity to China, who we know has also been in the spotlight as of late, who has also been in the news. And I just wanted to check here, how do you pronounce this properly, just so I'm not butchering it every single time?
Kyrgyzstan.
Kyrgyzstan, that's how we'll pronounce it. So this is interesting considering we also got this, guys, from Mr. Pool. XRP Librocoli, he posted this. I might be late to this, but Mr. Pool also posted Chess moves. He's posted D4 before and just now posted C7. Who knows chess well? And so Michael at Val5Links tagged me in this. He said, any ideas, Working Money channel? And I responded to him, I wish I were better at chess to give you guys a sense of what is going on here. So it looks as though we have three pieces here. One with the Russian flag, the Chinese flag, and the American flag. And, you know, what's going on today, of course, is basically a strategic silent war. U.S. is fighting to keep dollar dominance, while other countries in the East are looking to subvert the US dollar and go with their own currency. Now, Mr. Poole also posted C7, so a chess move. Something that I looked into further, and some people in this tweet thread also happened to look into. Knight on C3 means attacking the rock or the castle, and king simultaneously, so that the opponent should give up the rock instead of the king. This move is a critical assault on a naive enemy, but it doesn't lead to checkmate. It is a first big move, and so he's posting the Bearable Guy Castle. Obviously, this riddle from years ago now, before all the developments that we have seen. This person here, K. Frazine, posted that this C7, it could have to do with the oil markets. We all know gas prices have been super high, and he posted a video to that effect. XRP PRX3 saying C7 seems to be a move that puts pressure on the best piece of the board, which is the queen. I believe that Russia leaving the SWIFT system is this move, and BRICS nations are moving to a new system. So in another video I also talked about the BRICS nations moving away from SWIFT and perhaps using their own DLT system to create a new financial mechanism so that they can trade amongst themselves. I'll see if I can find that video. I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Kankspace also mentioning this. In chess, you can move one piece per turn, as we know. There's a thing in chess called a fork, which is when you use one of your pieces to threaten two of your opponent pieces. So in that regard, take a look at this, chess pattern 2. This is the very popular knight fork that most often is seen in the opening. If the queen moves c2, c7, square becomes undefended. That idea is heavily used by intermediate players to win the exchange. The knight can get to c2, c7 square in just 3 moves from its starting position. Winning the exchange on intermediate level generally means winning the game. So it's a strategic move for intermediate players. We are seeing that the US is in a similar position. One piece, namely the US, looking to threaten both Russia and China, perhaps putting pressure on the current financial system that they are looking to implement, ultimately preserving US dollar dominance. So it sounds as though, many here have gotten their thumb on the pulse. So let me just continue with this. Your opponent can move one of them out of the way, but then you get to move and take the other one. This means you can force your opponent to let you capture one of his pieces because he has no other choice. The situation described by the previous poster is a fork between the queen, the most powerful piece on the board, and the rook, the second most powerful piece on the board. This is a very powerful move for the person who puts the knight on c7. Of course, it isn't really possible for us to know if this is what the person was referencing in the piece of art. So we are looking at this. We are figuring, okay, there's a move here, and the US is putting pressure on either China, Russia, or both. And so who is going to flinch first? And also, let's not forget, from an earlier tweet this week, is Kyrgyzstan also going to play a role in this? Mr. Poole, always on top of the latest news. Would you be surprised if all of a sudden we started hearing about Kyrgyzstan in the news? Things are starting to get interesting. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.